This is Hardy Brute with the conclusion to Trolley's solution. I hope by the end of this video, Trolley-san will know what he wants and will go for it. But until that happens, let's run some more experiments. The Parent Trap. A trolley is quickly approaching your mom tied to the tracks. You can divert the trolley, but instead of hitting your mom, it would hit your father. What would you do? This is actually a tough one. The game actually makes the hard choice for you. If you do absolutely nothing, your mom gets taken out. Although I think my dad might deserve it a bit more. But I understand why he is the way he is, because me and him are very similar. But let's make it even Steven, and finish the job we started. So this time we're going to take out our dad, and I think he'd understand. It's like a bear coming from the woods, trying to eat the baby. Except in this case the bear is a 30,000-pound trolley. At least we made things even. Dad's model trolley, philanthropy. Let's do the model trolley. And this could be a minigame. You're playing with your dad's model. The trolley is quickly approaching an unfinished track. You have the option to lay extra tracks down. Can you lay the tracks down fast enough? It seems like we got quite a bit of choices here on the side. And we got a little turn here. Up and down, and then just straight. The music and piano is something I always really liked about this game. It's very tranquil and peaceful. Now we've got a big cross section here. We don't actually have the bar piece at the very bottom yet though. But we gotta make the turn around here. And one more straight piece. They actually gave us quite a bit of extra pieces in this one. So perhaps you could do it other ways, or they're just there to trick you. But now we finally got that crossbar as well. And we've put the cross here in the big section. And I'm not sure we actually need it anymore. Down, turn left, and right, Trolley-san is coming. It's okay, Trolley-san. We got your back. This one's only got 2 pieces though. This is the final one. Oh, we have to choose. It would be very ironic to take out Dad with his own train. But we want Dad to be proud of us, so I think we gotta take out Mom. We're still waiting for Dad to come home from that liquor store. Still waiting. But enough drama about our dad. Let's go on to the philanthropy. A trolley is quickly approaching people in need. You have the option to avoid them and head to the VIP area. Or you can stay on your path, but they will ask for money. But what will you do? I don't like being asked for money. So let's go to the VIP area. And the main reason I don't like being asked for money is sometimes I don't have any money. So when you ask for money, and then we both realize that neither of us have any money, and we both feel bad. I wonder what my dad's doing right now. Well, let's redo this, give some money to the people, and spread the wealth around. We at least own this lever switch here, so it can't be doing too bad. And it opened our website to the Doctors Without Borders, donating to the doctors that give medical care around the world, usually for little or no cost for the people they help, at least as far as I know. We unlocked 2 different paths, me in the future and the Trolley-O-Poly. Let's check out the O-Poly. There's a huge anti-intellectualism crisis. Humanity is getting dumber and dumber. We need your entrepreneurship abilities. Can you raise an empire of thoughts and save the world? So now we have a little idler minigame, and it reminds me a lot of
The Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
the Idiocracy movie. People are getting dumber and dumber,
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
and they start putting electrolytes, basically salt, on the plants, and they don't know why all the plants are dying off. But it is what the plants crave. We basically have an idler minigame. We can click the brain to create a thought, or we can get some passive thoughts from the philosopher, from the shower, from the university, and we're already up to 1,300 thoughts per second. The university leaves to the pub. Intentional or not, I think it's hilarious that the thought producer is an idle game, because a lot of times the idle games don't require a lot of thought process. You're gonna get to the end one way or the other. And now we have the best thought producer, which of course is the trolley. We're up to almost 100,000 thoughts per second, and we've just barely started to crack the percentage. We can see just a little bit of black bubbles here at the bottom. And it turns out they're light bulbs. Ooh, what a thought. But at this point, there's not much more to do. You can buy a passive upgrade at 10, 50, and 100 of the producer, but the cost is usually so high that it never pays for itself. Doubling the philosopher's income from 1 to 2 to 4 is a drop in the bucket when you're producing 700,000 thoughts per second. So at some point you just gotta sit there and watch the gear start spinning and fill up those light bulbs. All those glorious ideas. And we cap around 860,000 thoughts per second. And let's move on to the me in future. A trolley is quickly approaching a baby on the tracks. You have the option to divert the trolley to a different track where it would hit 5 other people. This would save the baby, but condemn the others. However, you should know that the baby will grow up to be a terrible dictator who failed to get into art school. Oh no. This isn't me in future, this is mine future. And that's a German baby. I didn't even have time to actually make a decision on that one. I was still processing the mine, which stands for my future. But that is pretty funny. The question I have though, is that if you choose to sacrifice the 5 people, what type of ripple effect is that going to have? Their kids' kids? How much of a branching off and effect does that really have? At this point, those 5 people were blank slates. They could have gone off to do anything. So we've got the mightier than the sword, and not my problem. So let's check out not my problem. A trolley is approaching 5 people. You have the option to divert the trolley and save them. However, this will create a new trolley problem for somebody else. What do you do? This is like trolley inception right now. So let's save the people. And there's a guy over there. He did not choose to save the people. And it's almost a trolley pyramid. I think we should have had a choice between 1 or 5. Choosing the 1 leads to another 1 and 5. And it keeps going on and on and on until someone finally chooses the 5. But I think the crux of the situation is that you don't tell the people that choosing the 1 continues the trolley along its way. And most people just keep choosing the 1 over and over and over. That would be an interesting thought experiment. A different point of view. Let's actually go down to the bottom row again. Mightier than the sword. The baby you spared has become a terrible mustache-wielding dictator. Luckily, you can use your argument gun to make him aware of the error of his ways. But beware, his followers have their own argument guns. Enchanted. Convinced. Convinced. We charmed that guy. And hooked that guy. But there's a lot of argument blood on the ground over here. 1 over hooked. And there's actually a picture of Trolley Son in the middle, raising his eyebrows up and down every so often. And when you get really low, the picture usually changed in the old school games, in the Quake, the Doom. Yeah, we got below 50%, now all the windows are cracked. That is awesome. I like those little touches. And I think we got to the final room here. And I think we shot the baby again. Or maybe that was the dictator. I'm not quite sure. Kinda your problem? A different point of view. Let's go with kinda your problem. A trolley is quickly approaching people tied to the tracks. You have the option to divert to a free track. You must redirect it to avoid harming anyone. Can you reach the end without hurting more than 5 people? So Trolley-san doesn't want to hurt people anymore. Or maybe we're just trying to convince ourselves that's what Trolley-san wants. But what does Trolley-san want? I know he made a promise with Timiko. Timiko's always on his mind. And I think that promise is what's keeping him going. Because even if he can't choose on these experiments, he at least chose with that promise. He's got to make it through. He's got to see it through the end. but he's still falling back on old habits. Running over people, doing experiments. Come on, Trolley-san, you're better than this. And even with all the ups and downs, there's always a straight path right through the middle. Trolley-san just has to decide. He's gotta make that hard choice. And even with all of those choices, the very final choice is completely out of our hands once again. Poor Trolley-san. Well, we only took out a couple people, and that's not too bad. But let's move on to a different point of view. We've also only got 4 more cards to collect. And they all have attack and defense, so I really hope there's a minigame with them afterwards. Or some sort of card game. You're a conductor, and your trolley is quickly approaching 5 people. You have the option to stop and save the people, or you can leave it up to the person at the lever to choose between letting the 5 people live or die. What do you do? Well, let's actually stop the train. I've never had so much power in this situation. Deciding what the train does before you even get to the division, the fork. Makes me wonder if those people on the tracks even knew we were coming though. But let's quickly redo this, and let the lever man decide. See what kind of decision he makes. It really puts us in the shoes of Trolley-san here. And there's the person, and he decided to take the 1 over the 5. But we're more guilty in this situation than anything else because we chose not to stop the train. He had to choose between 1 and 5. We could have chosen 0. Well, let's move on to a nice ride. Take the trolley for a spin. Travel to the city, pick up passengers, and just enjoy the ride. I like the little mini-map in the corner too. Ooh, we could go backwards. But we got stop and we got go. What more could you ask for? And the city looks gigantic from this perspective. This is what Trolley-san sees every single day. He's actually just locked in. Controlled by the rails. He can only go from one spot to the next. His choice is very limited. And look how stylish this guy is. He's got the crisp beard and a clean hat. That guy was on fire. He's gonna have a big day going on. And he started out with Trolley-san here. We got another card. And let's keep on moving. There's something missing though. There's an electronic feeling, the noises of the coming on and off. But there's no clear ding-ding noise. There's not a button I can push to just make all the dings. To be fair, I would just constantly push the ding button though. So that's probably best for everybody. But I do want to make that ding noise. I really, really do. So far the trolley has been incredibly peaceful though. We've just been going around the city. We haven't done any sort of experiments or made any hard choices. So everybody that gets on the trolley gets off the trolley safely. So we're all in this together, I suppose. We made the trek around the city without any sort of accidents or experiments. So that's a good thing, I suppose. Even Trolley needs a day off. The trolley solution is the final level, so let's check out the VIP area. Levels in the game that didn't make it into the main game, but with some updates he might actually add more to this as well. So let's check out the Daredevil. A trolley is quickly approaching 5 people. You have the option to divert the trolley to a different track where it'll still hit 5 people. However, on this track, the trolley will perform an epic jump. Well, I do like epic jumps. It's kind of unfortunate that we're still gonna hit 5 people though. Trolley-san only knows one way. And we got scored for it, which is pretty hilarious. But let's go on to the next one. There aren't 2 paths like the other one. AD ad infinitum. A trolley is quickly approaching a person tied. You have the option to divert the trolley. However, that will make another person tied to the track, and you have to make the decision again. This will create an infinite amount of people. What will you do? So we either sacrifice this person here, or by making this choice, we're actually doubling our sins. And now there's 2 people. So we should really cut our losses, but let's just keep putting it off for a little bit. And now there's 3 people? But let's check to see how high we can get. After doing this for 10 minutes straight, around 7 seconds per person, we've got a big old line going now. And it just keeps going. Probably should have taken out that first person. But let's go on to the too late. A trolley is quickly approaching 5 people. You have the option to divert the trolley, where it would hit only 1 person. But wait, you were too late. The people got bored and they left. How do you feel now? Well, I don't feel very good. And their ropes are still left there. That's hilarious. But clearly someone came along to untie them. Even if they were bored, they couldn't get away. I like this one quite a bit. That's probably my favorite one so far. Coming soon. A trolley is approaching 5 people. You have the option to divert the trolley. That would save the 5, but isn't this the same as the first dilemma? What is happening? Yeah, it's the choose the 1 or the 5. And Trolley-san keeps bouncing back and forth, back and forth. So it's coming soon, but he never actually gets there. And the game is just in an endless loop. The only way to actually stop this is you have to go to the menu, which is pretty hilarious. So let's go on to the final level, the trolley solution. The year is 1967. A trolley is quickly approaching 5 people tied to the tracks. You can divert the trolley, where it would hit a British philosopher, Philippa Foot. This would create a time paradox that would prevent the trolley problem from ever existing. Or you can do nothing and be cursed to solve the trolley problem for all of eternity. What do you do? Well, let's take out the philosopher and see what happens. I see. Well, that's not a good thing. And now all the levels are gone, and the only thing left is the last ride of the day, at the very end of the tracks. So let's check it out. A trolley is calmly approaching the terminal. Nothing needs to be done, nothing needs to be solved, nothing to worry about. Just enjoy the ride. And I think that is it for the game, the trolley solution. I really enjoyed this game quite a bit. I enjoyed the wit and the humor. It's created by Dan, and Dan Yule does the music. So when you boot up the game, it says Dan Dance. Those 2 people work together, or the first guy's name is Dan with his last name being Dans. So I'm not really sure. But I really like the structure of the game. The mix of serious questions and humor was done very well. So I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to see more content like this, let me know. And I'll see you later.